Yes. They can't upload the videos?
No, I can't play any videos on the website.
Oh. Ooh. Really? You know why? Because I didn't know if it played here. I asked someone yesterday. They're like, I think it's on like Toon something. Toon Boom. Teletoon. Teletubbies. But because it's a Cartoon Network show, and they don't have Cartoon Network up here, I guess. They have to sell it to somebody else, and then it's a violation of their like, hey, we bought this show from you. You can't give it away for free on the internets. Because I know it's weird, right? You don't pay to watch it on TV, but then they sell that time, the advertising time. So that's weird. I think that kind of sucks. I don't like region locking. I believe in like one world, man.
I don't like locking at all. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You can't. But you can have my DVD. Yes, you had a question? Awesome, man.
Yes. Funimation. Yeah, we're in the. Thank you.
Yeah, you got rocking hands.
Man, I can't tell you. I know you're from New York, and I know you probably actually did some work on that dub.
I did some work on that dub, and actually Zolo is Mark Drazon, who directed my studio. He's a super great guy, voice of Guts and Berserk.
And honestly, from what I've heard of the original dub, I think his was probably the most solid voice, like the one that was least offensive, I think, of everybody's too. So he was probably the most disappointed.
He plays sword guys a lot. He's always a guy with a sword.
I'm always a dude with a sword. Every character I've
played
totally,
hang out
or a camera.
Or speed.
But seriously, it wasn't. It wasn't the actors' fault that the 4Kids dub turned out the way it was. It probably wasn't even the voice director's fault for that. I mean, honestly, it was a decision that 4Kids made in an effort to try and make the show a little more accessible to kids, for kids, I guess.
Breakfast.
So we're just doing Funimation's just doing a dub for adults, for regulars.
For regulars. Speaking of regular, Brad.
Speaking of regular, I need my bass. Never mind. Yes.
Actually, Chris, do you think it would be possible to do the same thing to Speed Rapper to make it kid-friendly?
Yes. Put a couple of gosh darn shoots in there. Change the soundtrack. We need music front to back.
From the front to back. Oh, that reminds me of something that I will say. That might explain some of what 4Kids has had to do, and it's not because they're just like, let's make something and insult the fan base. We were doing Shaman King, and it's like Pokemon but with ghosts, and we have spirit friends, and then we join them, and then our eyes glow, and it's all crazy. And what we used to yell in the original English version of the dub was when we would form with our, we'd call our ghost up, we would scream possession, and then they'd like stick their spirit in us, and then like be possessed, and then have mighty powers. And some affiliate somewhere in the middle of the country was like, not down in the middle where it's cool, ones are, but somewhere where it's jive and it's like a square state. They had some affiliate was like, we think that's a little evil. We don't want them being possessed. That's Satan's work. So, and you can't say possession. You have to say unity. So we had to change all the possessions to unity. And we were like, seriously? And then they didn't want us to say, okay, these are spirits. You know how spirits are made? When someone dies. All right, sorry, I have people close to me die, and it's a sad thing, but it's part of nature, and they don't want American kids to know that it happens. Sex and dying, it doesn't exist. But taxes, you got it. So, kids have to pay taxes in America. Did you know that? Before you can even drink, you're paying taxes. So we had to re-record the unities, and then we couldn't say dead, like the spirits of the dead. They literally had a couple lines that I don't think made it in, but we had to say the unliving. What is that? Wow. Is that a zombie?
Believe me, I worked for Funimation for a long time, back when we were having to say the home for infinite losers as opposed to do you remember that?
Yes.
They every time Goku would fall into hell where there would be these demons that would wear these shirts that said hell on them, very obviously.
It's changed to hippo.
It changed to HFIL. HFIL, and it was called the Home for Infinite Losers.
They wrote it out like the E to an F.
They painted out the
God.
the E to make it an F and the second E to make it an I. So instead of hell, it was HFIL. We had that, and we had we weren't allowed to say hell. We were supposed to say. Later on, we had to call it the other world.
Yeah.
So now that we like this, we're not acknowledging God. We're not acknowledging hell. We're just saying that there's actually another world.
Wow.
So it's just less scary.
Well, you didn't go to other planets.
They would go to other planets.
Which other world? You know, loser world.
The hot one. Where the infinite losers hang out.
Mr. Satan. I know. You couldn't change Mr. Satan. I mean, you had Mr. Satan.
No, we had to change it to Hercule.
Yep.
Yes.
And which made it funny to me because Funimation chose Hercule. Couldn't they have chosen anything else, like Superstar or whatever? Because you have a name like Mr. Satan with the flaps all the time. So it's a Mr. But they changed to Hercule, which sucked because there were 3 flaps in Mr. Satan as opposed to Hercule.
No,
So
Hercule.
it's like, go Hercule, or Hercule awesome. Or Hercule, yeah. I'm so glad that actually Funimation is now a place that's making dubs that we aren't being made fun of for. That's all I have to say. Good. Yes. I mean, how long is this depressing scene going on? Everyone, they even put everyone in that room on suicide watch. This show has depressing music the entire time.
You have so much to live for.
And now they turned it off. Oh, they. Yeah, let's restart it.
It's just a break.
Are any of you living in here still? Cool. In the back, how are you feeling? Pretty depressed? Good.
We won't quit till you're unliving.
Come on, you infinite losers. Let's go. More questions?